Hey guys, it's Paul Jang, and we're going to be talking about Luke Smith and rural vacant land. My thoughts on them, essentially a review of some sort. Overall, Luke Smith, from what I could tell, comes from the Land Academy background. Um, and so they're one of the land investing groups that teach about land investing. And the predominant strategy was buying and selling it for flip, but I think Luke's kind of ventured off to his own thing, and he's done owner financing deals, and it kind of seems like he's really pushing for owner financing. Generally, they're going to be rural lots, uh, mobile homes, RVs, um, you know, recreational use, maybe some hunting, that kind of stuff, and they range from a quarter of an acre all the way to tens of acres. Eh, Generally, I have a pretty favorable viewpoint of Luke Smith and his model. His branding is just so on point. If anyone's interested in rural vacant land, one of his things is always it's going to be close to being picked up. And what he has is he's got this link to buy. Is he legit? For those that are looking to buy lands, yeah. He does do partnerships with other land investors. They generally come from the same type of um, um, land investing community of not just Land Academy, but Land Geek and Jack Bosch's group. But there's a bunch of land investing groups, people that just kind of figure things out on themselves, people that have taken smaller courses, the bigger guys that have done things. Um, but like if you could look over here, you got here your payments over here, and if you look, the owner here is Rolling Lands. Now, interesting, Orlando, what's going on is Luke started his business buying and selling land, but his rural vacant land gets a lot of leads, predominantly from YouTube. If you type it into Google, people aren't searching for land in California, and his website's popping up. That's not what's going on. It's there's this YouTube video. People eventually would want property 50 to 80% cheaper. That's kind of a slight exaggeration. It's probably closer to, um, I would say closer to 80, 90%. No, sorry, in terms of value. So it's really close to maybe like 10, 20% discounts on things, because what he's doing is he's picking up stuff 25 cents to 50 cents on the dollar. And what he's doing is he's quickly flipping those over. Um, so that I would say this part here is a little bit misleading. It's really to get people to pick up on his website and sign in and register. But people like Rolando is essentially paying Luke to get onto the platform. His website, Luke will create a video for them. So Luke will sell his own lots, but other land investors are essentially going to Luke and saying like, "Hey, can I also advertise my land to you?" That's pretty common for you know people in real estate, Zillow, Realtor. They all kind of do the same thing. People go on their platforms to advertise their property. So Luke Smith is kind of doing a smaller version of Zillow or LandWatch, and he's funneling some of the land investors to also advertise on his property. And the deal's kind of like, hey, I'll do a video for you. I'll put it on the website. Maybe you get a deal here, and there's a symbiotic relationship here. He can't really vouch for people that are not um, that's not him. But generally, I would trust people on the platform, as independent owners. Generally, people in the business that aren't going to do shady stuff, because you know um, that will bite them in the back on the back end, right? So I wouldn't be too worried about any kind of like like scam or anything like that. Um, I would just appreciate Luke Smith is running a business. He's advertising his own land. He's built up a following on YouTube. He's getting other land investors to invest with him, realize they're not Luke, right? And it's a business and they're trying to make money. So, any kind of this, what I would say is this is kind of the sub retail market that he's targeting. It's so these are people that want a specific lot that is being advertised, and they have that option to go with it without the process of finding really cheap land. If you want to find really cheap land, look into tax auctions or reaching out to owners directly. A lot of land courses, like mine as such, you can check that in the description, is available, but there's a process there in finding those types of deals. And land investors are basically capitalizing on that to find property really inexpensively and then sell it, market it. So that's the business model, and some things to like consider. If you are a land investor, how do you partner up with other people marketing, or really creating your own channel to advertise as well, and then kind of diversify? If you're kind of a person thinking about buying off of rural vacant land, just know that it's probably going to be cheaper than if you went to the MLS, and did it with a realtor. But their slight discounts are not, these like 50%, 80% discounts. I just don't think that's as realistic. Um, but that's just kind of the situation. So most of the owner financing deals with this, it's going to be with like land contracts or contracts for deeds. So they won't give you title to the property until the property is fully paid off. Just know that. That's pretty standard procedures for most land investors, in case you don't pay them. And uh, so if it's cash, generally you get title to the property pretty quickly. And that's kind of the whole process with rural vacant land. What I think about Luke Smith, generally pretty favorable. Um, he's one of the older land investors. I wouldn't say he's like an OG, like really old. There's definitely some older land investors, but Luke Smith is probably one of the first people really utilizing YouTube as a platform to advertise land, and he's done really well with that. And other people, other land investors, have followed suit in that. So that's it with rural vacant land. Hope you liked the video. Um, Land is how my wife and I were able to quit our jobs. If you're interested in that, check that out in the description below. Otherwise, subscribe, like the channel. I appreciate your time. Take care. Bye.